Guys, today we are going to talk about a crazy pattern unfolding for Bitcoin right now. We're also going to talk about my newest trade, what my plan is, where did I enter. I'm going to explain all of that. Also, we're talking about Bitcoin on shorter and on longer time frames. So welcome back everybody. My name is Cristiano, bringing you cryptocurrency videos every day, teaching you how to make money in this market. If you are new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe and activate the bell right now, guys. And with that said, let's get straight into it, because on the 4-hourly time frame, you can see that the edge of the orange box here is still holding up the Bitcoin price pretty nicely. So on the 4-hourly time frame, things are still looking pretty decent until we break down from these massive support levels, and one of them is the orange box here. I still think that there's a high chance that this level is going to hold, no matter how, bearish the sentiment is. And yes, we are making lower highs here, we're making lower lows even, so that's not too convincing. But nonetheless, I know that this level, the edge of the orange box, they have been very, very strong previously. But of course, we need to be prepared for every scenario. But another thing we need to pay attention to is the weekly time frame, because yesterday we did close this weekly time frame, this weekly candle on the weekly time frame, and we retested this downward sloping trend line. And this is still also, just like I said, not too bad. I mean, this is still sloping down. This is still intact on the weekly time frame. We haven't flipped bearish yet, although yes, we did close below this 21 EMA here. So this is definitely something that is a little bit concerning, but nonetheless, we still have this trend line sloping down, and this is still strong support, even though we are knocking on it right now. So we need to be cautious about this as well. And on the traditional markets, we opened it up yesterday, failed to make a rally into the orange box. In fact, we just continued to go down here. We are right now below the orange line at 4,470. So we're paying attention to that. But let's talk about my trade before we talk about this massive pattern playing out right now for Bitcoin. So I entered into a trade here on the Delta exchange. So by the way, the links are in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. So I entered at 42,204. So why did I enter into this point? Well, you do see that my orange line here, my orange box, it's right on the edge here. So I entered here. I think there's a high chance that this is going to hold. If it doesn't hold, of course, I do have a stop loss. I haven't added my stop loss yet, though, ironically, because I just entered the trade. But my stop loss would be right here. So if we take out the low of this candle, and this is at about 41,850, that's going to be my stop loss. So, I mean, what am I risking? I'm risking like, well, 0.6%. So not that bad. But if we do see a rally here, this is a short-term trade, guys. If we do see a rally, I'm taking profit at this point here at $45,000. So I'm going to hold it for a little while at least. And remember, if we go below this level, that is going to trigger my stop loss. So if you want to enter this trade yourself, by the way, you do have the link in the description. I did make a market order, so I just put in like I'm doing this on a 10x leverage. And if you type in something like 150 contracts, you will find the margin balance you will need down here. So this is the market order. I do recommend, like in general, to use limit orders, because you're going to save some money on fees and you get to have the exact price you want the order to be executed on. Of course, nothing is financial advice, but I always get people, when I show my trades, I always get people, telling me to also show how to actually execute the trade. So that is basically how you do. If you want to go short, you can go short as well. I would not recommend going short in this point in time, because you're right on the edge of the massive support here. But if you want to do that, you can just flip between long and short here as well. My liquidation price is not too bad. It's at 38,200. But just like I said, my stop loss is going to be triggered before we even hit this level anyway. So let us add a stop loss right now. You can click on this X right here. Let's see where the stop loss is going to be. It's going to be at 41,800. And so you can see the expected loss here as well. And there we go. Now let's talk about this, because we're seeing something crazy unfold here for Bitcoin. So this pattern is the Justin Mamis sentiment cycle. So what is this? Well, Justin Mamis is the author of The Nature of Risk, Stock Market Survival, and The Meaning of Life. So quite a bit of stuff going on there. So basically, the market is a mechanism for messing as many people about as it can, as often as possible. And I think a lot of, especially crypto investors, can definitely agree on this. And also, what we have is essentially a graphical representation of the manic depressive moods typically experienced by market participants as a function of time and price in one complete sentiment loop. So when you watch the charts, you're basically watching the sentiment of people, you know, the anxiety and the euphoria. And also you throw in time and you throw in price, and so you have the market. And he came up with this general structure. So we do have, after a big drop, we have some consolidation, we have the panic phase. But then we do have, you know, you go under this blue line. So this is the Bitcoin price, by the way, and this is the actual model. Go below it right here, just like you can see here, go below it. And then we have another rally up, and look at these two peaks here, just like these two peaks. And then we go back and forth a bit, and then we have this. So this is the retest of the blue line. Okay, so we do have it right here, and we do also have this particular peak right here, right? So we do go up, but then we go down again. We make a retest and we break above it. So something like this, break above it, and then we retest it on the downside as well. And the question is right now, of course, is this going to follow up with the anxiety phase right here? And then we have another big drop. So that would basically mean that we go up to like $48,000 again. And then we have another drop down to 42 before we make a big rally up to, you know, 72K or whatever it is. So this is really interesting. Now, this is very crude, and every model is, you know, valid until it's not valid anymore. So we can keep watching this, guys. We can keep watching this and see if it plays out as the model actually is showing us here. But of course, there's going to be some kind of variation. Nothing is exactly as a model, but nonetheless, if you want me to keep you updated on this, I do think that this is pretty interesting to keep watching. Let me know that down in the comment section. Oh, another thing, guys, tomorrow there's not going to be a video because I am traveling. So I will see you guys back on Wednesday. So I will see you on Wednesday, guys. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.